Hello, I'm Alex Davies. I'm founder of Wealth Club. Today I'm with Will Fraser-Allen of Albion Capital. Hello, Will.
Hello.
Could you just start by telling me a little bit about Albion?
So Albion is is a fund management group with about $1 billion of assets under administration or management, and roughly half that business is in venture capital, and our VCT business is approximately 340 million of those assets. So we're a group of 40 with 13 investors focusing on the VCTs.
So you've got 5 VCTs available. Could you just tell me a little bit about them?
So our VCTs offer is effectively a top-up offer across those 5, and we very much look at those VCTs as an aggregate portfolio in terms of deciding how we invest. So the basic objective is to provide investors with a long-term savings vehicle, delivering a decent tax-free yield, and then we do that through investing in a range of sectors and a range of interesting businesses. And what it gives investors is exposure to growing innovative companies in the UK at of a smaller size.
So perhaps you could just talk me through some recent investments you've made, what they are and why you made them.
Yes, so what we're increasingly seeing is a technology theme across our investing. So many businesses today are technology enabled in some way. So some of the more recent ones along those lines in that would be a company like Egress. So Egress is a very fast-growing business, and basically what they do is they do encrypted email. So they're providing encrypted email to the Metropolitan Police, lots of local authorities, and indeed the Ministry of Justice. So that business, we've seen its annual recurring income increase about 8 times since we invested. More recently, we've within our sort of healthcare focus, particularly around digital health, we've backed a business called Locum's Nest. And what Locum's Nest is doing is it's providing NHS trusts with a software platform that helps them deal with their requirements for locum doctors. So what it does is it matches available doctors with shifts that need to be filled. And what it's doing is saving the NHS a huge amount of money through reduced exposure to agency fees.
So slightly different investments, but is there a particular theme when you're looking for investments? Is there a particular type of company you're looking for?
Yeah, so I mean the sort of overriding job of a venture capital investor like Albion is to understand how the world is changing, and then look for those companies that are going to benefit from and know how to exploit that change. So some of the themes that we're looking at the moment would include data analytics, automation. We're looking at digital healthcare. You know, how can we make healthcare more efficient through the use of software? All important changing areas that allow us to create value.
Okay, £542 million went into VCTs last year. People say it could be up to $1 billion this year. It's an awful lot of money chasing the same deals, and is that driving up prices?
The reality is the UK is very entrepreneurial, and certainly what we've seen in the last few years is a significant increase in the number of entrepreneurs that are coming to us looking for funding. You know, there are some really interesting businesses, and I think the interest in technology and indeed the interest in being an entrepreneur is driving lots of opportunities. So, you know, there is the ability to find homes for those money in our view.
Okay, and over the last few years, where VCTs have obviously been restricted, where they can invest has been restricted. Has that affected you?
So, you know, understandably, there's been a shift in policy, and that's driven by HM Treasury. And what they're aiming to do is to ensure that VCTs are investing in innovation and growth. So the focus is very much about how do we grow businesses, typically young businesses. And as you'll be aware, there was a particular number of changes at the end of 2015. So since then, you know, what we've been able to do is to find those young businesses, and indeed have invested something like £43 million since in just over 18 months. So the answer is the rule changes are there, but we've managed to adapt, and in fact we're embracing them as a real opportunity to back growth.
So you've talked about recent investments. What about over your history? Any really successful exits you'd like to tell us about?
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to talk about successes. I guess a very good success that we had was backing a business called Active Hotels, which has since gone on to become Booking.com. So that business grew in 3 years to a business that was worth about $160 million when we sold it. Delivered a 10 times return for our VCTs. And it was a really interesting business to be involved in. It revolutionised the way that people book their hotels through allowing them to do it online. More recent success is actually in the Hiscox Sunday Times Tech Track 100, which is where the Sunday Times identifies the 100 fastest growing tech companies. And we were very pleased for 4 of our investee companies that made that top 100. And indeed, within the 21 software businesses in that list, 3 of those were backed by Albion.
And those are successes. Clearly, everything doesn't always go right. What happens when it hasn't worked out quite so well?
Venture capital, by its nature, carries risk, and that is the risk that businesses won't succeed and may ultimately fail. We're fortunate that we've had relatively few, but it happens. I think what's important is to learn the lessons from those things that don't go well and try and understand the themes. And those themes can be there can be lots of reasons, but some of the sort of big change in regulation can be very difficult for businesses, and can lead to whole changes in markets. And similarly, loss of very very large customers can be a big issue, and those are both examples of that we've seen.
Okay, I need to invest in some VCTs this year. Why should I choose yours?
Well, the Albion VCTs, by investing through the top-up offer, gives you immediate exposure to about 60 businesses, and that's a portfolio valued at about 280 million. So you're getting that immediate access to diversification, both in terms of the number of companies, being 60, but you're also getting diversification through stage. So you've got to have a business in there right from relatively early stage right the way through to larger profitable businesses. And through a balance of sectors such as healthcare, we aim to deliver a target yield of about 5.4%, which and a desire to grow assets over the long term.
Will Fraser-Allen, thank you very much.